My Washington Mystics starting five. Natasha Cloud at the 1. Christy Tolliver at the 2. Elena Deladon at the 3. Maisha Hines Allen at the 4. And Shakira Austin at the 5. Now, my Washington Mystics bench. Shatori Walker Kimbrough at the 1. Ariel Atkins at the 2. Brittany Sykes at the 3. Tiana Hawkins at the 4. And Amanda Zalby at the 5. Now I got my New York Liberty starting 5. Courtney Vandersloot at the 1. Sabrina Ionescu at the 2. Benaje Laney at the 3. Brianna Stewart at the 4. And Jonquel Jones at the 5. Now, my New York Liberty bench. Epiphany Prince at the 1. Maureen Johannes at the 2. Dee Dee Richards at the 3. Stephanie Dolson at the 4. And Han Su at the 5. Now, I got to say, the Mystics, they are returning a decent amount of players that they had last season. And let's not forget, they were the 4th or 5th seed. Off memory, I'm forgetting. I want to say 4th. We'll see what happens if I'm right. But, no, they were 5th. They were 5th. They were 5th. I mean, yeah, they were 5th. I'm right on that one, I think. I'm positive. Anyways, that was last season. This season, it's a little bit different. Just a little bit. Now, if you're looking at the starters, I personally say they got a solid starter unit, okay? The systems say average, but I think they got a solid starting unit. We'll see how it goes, though. The bench was actually quite surprising because it's number 2 in the WNBA. So if that bench is actually producing at that rate, that means if the starters do take a step back, hey, guess what? You can interchange some of the bench players and still keep rolling. You might even be playing a little bit better. And speaking of playing better, fun fact too, they are the 3rd tallest team. So that tells me you're not going to beat them with height, and they might have a little versatility. And when I say they do have a little versatility. And they also got a good amount of experience as well. That's fun to note. Now, they're not the fastest team, right? They can go fast, but it's best for the Mystics to be in a half court setting. Personally, just based on age. And then from a scoring perspective, all right, they could use a little bit of an improvement on the scoring tip, but their defense is actually pretty good. So when I'm looking at that, I'm telling myself they can stop folks. So as long as they can score, that's actually going to be beneficial come playoffs because things get a little tighter in playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So if the Mystics can actually score just a little bit better, they'll be all right. Playmaking, they look good. Here's where they lose me, and it goes back to the scoring. The field goal percentage, the 3-point percentage, and the free throws, all at the bottom of the WNBA. Not at the very bottom, but they in the lower tier. They're in the lower third of the WNBA in all those categories. You gotta change that because again, the playoffs. Yes, you need defense, but you also need to score the ball. You got to get a bucket. And if you got to get a bucket efficiently, too, you can't sit up there and just keep scoring or keep jacking and hope that you're going to stop because somebody's going to score on you at some point in time. So now we all know this New York Liberty team is quite a stout one. You look at the starters. Obviously, they're going to be a top 2 starter team, right? I said the Aces were number 1. I said the Aces were number 2. They're number 1. So, the starting unit, cool. The bench, number 4 for me. Out of 12, by the way. This is out of 12. Oh, and to note, their numbers, I like my team with height. They number 7 in height. And, 7 is one of my favorite numbers. So, when I look at this team, this New York Liberty team, it's not looking too bad. It's telling me you're a little versatile, you're balanced, and you look pretty damn dominant. Also, they're not too old. Like they can adjust with and adapt with the young guns if they need to run, or the older crowd if they want to be more in transition. Then again, let's look at the box scores, right? Like the points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, all that good stuff. They're they're at the top of the heap in every one of them. Like they are top four in everything except free throws. So pretty much that's the vulnerability. If you can stay close, you got a shot against the Liberty, but you got to play perfect in order to beat these girls, and that's a tough task too. But if you got the talent, you can do that though. So again, free throws is what is going to take to knock this team off. You got to stay with them. That means you got to have the talent. And you can do that, that's pretty scary. Well, for me, I'm gonna be honest with you. Every team I've been given an X factor. I don't know what the X factor is for the Liberty. I mean, their starting five is easily the best, easily. So that brings me to my X factor, Shakira Austin, and the development of her game. If she actually can get to all-star level, the Mystics have something because you have a good team. And again, this is based on last year's stats. So I'm assuming she is going to get closer to all-star level. All-star level, hey, we got to wait and find out. I know some people who do believe she's going to be all-star. I'm not saying she can't. It might just be a year early. Just might be one more year early. That's all. That's all. And then obviously Elena Deladon and her health. As long as she's healthy, the team gonna be looking straight. But they have a really good team. The scoring aspect is where they got to evolve, and that's where I'm looking at this team to take that next step, be a little bit more, a lot more efficient actually. So the Mystics, hey, can y'all pull some wizardry unlike the Washington Wizards, and shoot a little bit better, score a little bit more? I appreciate it. Thank y'all. X Factor's health. Like as long as they're healthy, they're good. Now they gonna need Brianna Stewart to snap. Sabrina Ionescu got to show up. Courtney can't slouch. You know what I'm saying? John Quell. If I got to pick anybody, it might be John Quell. Because if John Quell Jones can dominate, oh my God, that's ridiculous. Just imagine if John Quell Jones is dominating the WNBA and Brianna Stewart is a second option in terms of production. That's disgusting. So maybe John Quell is the X factor, but they have so much put on their team, bro. It's not really much. They just need to be healthy come into season, honestly. So the Liberty, yeah, they're a fan favorite, and I understand why. And I just broke down why they should be one of the best scoring teams, one of the best defending teams. They can play make the hell out of the ball too, and then they shoot the ball pretty well from the field as well as the Tracy zone. So again, Liberty, you this might be the first time New York fans can say bing bong and it actually have some relevance. Maybe the Liberty can take on that trend. Who knows? We can see what it shakes.
Oh, I did not know you guys were still here. As you can see, we're at the back end of the show. No pun intended, but look, hope you all enjoyed it. And before you go, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the IG account, share the content to anybody who's anybody. And most importantly, leave your thoughts and comments below. But I got to go back and play Buddy in 2K, so let me unmute him real quick. Excuse me. Hey, boss, I'm back. Nah, you better catch this word. You know we get buckets around here, too.